Let's come to an understanding. 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 I said, let's come to an understanding. 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 Let's come to an understanding.
Let's come to an understanding.
We are live.
We are live in the building. Let's come to an understanding. Remotes.
Corona quarantine editions.
Quarantine editions. Bonus episodes.
Bonus
we
eps.
got to put you guys on a little bit extra.
Yeah, we got to take care of you guys through this hard times. These are hard times, and you need to hear us talk, and that's it.
This is the first time I think we're going to have a non-Ontarian on the
Oh
show.
no!
This is the first time we're going to have someone who isn't from Ontario on the show.
No.
I don't know if the listeners are ready for that.
From Montreal. From Montreal.
We're going to have a Montrealer because we've had guests, but all of our guests are born and raised in Ontario.
Yeah.
One of them was in Florida.
English side.
That was just happenstance. You know what I mean? We keep this a pretty Ontario first, Ontario pride, Ontario.
No, he was born and raised here, and he's a Corona survivor. So you know what? It was important we get him on.
Danny Polachuk. But everybody, please introduce not only our first, not English as the first language guest.
Ontarian.
Okay, not only our first ESL guest, because you know people do pat us on the back.
I'm the first ESL here.
No. People pat us on the back a lot, and they say, you know what, the women of color on the show, wow, crazy. Like you guys are really out front with that.
We're on it.
Like,
We're on it. First guest.
You've only
Do
had.
people actually pat you on the back?
Yeah.
Hey, we haven't been introduced yet. Why don't you just wait?
Mateo, our last guest wears a hijab.
His name's not
So, hey,
Mateo. His name's not Mateo.
Mateo,
Hold on.
last guest wears a hijab. I'm just saying, it looks good in the community. But go
Okay,
on.
hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish the intro.
Okay.
Because I gotta toot the horn a little bit still. Not only are people saying, "Oh my God," you know, all the women of color on the show. What are you percolating coffee right now? On the intro? What is this?
Drew has such a pet peeve of
Okay.
people eating or anything, but Mateo,
What is
if you
this?
wanna get
What is
yourself
this?
a wine, get yourself a wine, no problem.
Stop saying his name, and you're saying it wrong. Hold on.
My bad. Okay.
Okay. So we have women of color. We have Jews. Okay. We have a Muslim woman with a hijab on. Even crazy, right? Let's is this Canada?
Very
This is
progressive.
Canada.
We are very
No?
multiculturalism,
And now we're going our first ESL English. Well, if you don't speak English that well, we'll even have you on the show because we're that open. We're that
Wow.
open to the world.
connected
Okay.
to the French side.
So we're gonna bring it. This is our first French Canadian francophone speaker. Everybody, Mathieu Dionne, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo!
Mathieu, welcome, Mathieu.
Merci pour l'invitation.
Ah, de rien,
Very
de
progressive.
rien. Ça me fait un grand plaisir de vous avoir.
English.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just glad to be here as a
Thank
part
you,
of
thank
the
you.
francophone minority in Canada.
Thank you, and we
Well,
support the community.
Mathieu knows and Amish knows I am Franco-Ontarian.
Yeah.
I am an Ontarian who speaks French. And I prefer French to English. I've said it many times and I'll say it again.
Wow.
If it wasn't for some cruel fate of circumstance that I was born in an English majority part of the world, I would have preferred to have been born speaking French. But you know, it is what it is.
I just want to say God bless the British Empire and the English-speaking world. Thank you very much. The sun doesn't set. I wish it never set, but okay, it has, and that's it. Now we got these French. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I welcome all the people.
Well, no, Mathieu is actually. You'll like to know this, Amish. Mathieu is a monarchiste. Actually, there's a strain of people in Quebec who actually love the British royal family because they guarded the French language in Canada against the Americans.
I didn't know that.
Well, after the defeat at the
Did
Plains of
they?
Abraham.
The British royal family. The British royal family did that.
Jesus. Oh my
Must have
God.
broken your heart when you heard about that prince there, right? I'm just kidding.
Which one? Which prince? Andrew or Harry leaving?
Oh, no. Harry leaving's not bad. Andrew, oh man, I just felt my heart went out to the Queen on that one, man. When Andrew, the prince, is it Prince Albert, isn't it? No, Prince Andrew.
No, it's Prince Andrew. We've been over this.
We've been over this 100 times. Prince Andrew, man, holy shit, that poor queen mother. If you were watching The Crown, you're just like, oh my God, how embarrassing.
Never watched The Crown.
You haven't watched The Crown? Well, that's weird since you're a monarchist.
Oh my God. Why are you saying this?
For you. I see you drinking a beer there. Is that a Quebec craft brew?
It is actually.
Nice.
Who is it? Would you like to shout them out? We're here to support our Canadian businesses on this show.
It's a Dunham Brewery. Based
Dunham?
in Dunham, yeah.
Dunham, is that in Quebec?
Ooh.
Yeah, Eastern Townships.
Dans le canton l'Est.
Hence the very British name. Dunham.
Fancy.
Dunham. Do you know about the Eastern Townships in Quebec, Amish?
No. But I would like to hear what is craft brewery taking over wine in Montreal, would you say?
I think they're side by side.
Wow, side by side. That's interesting. Because I think in France they would be like wine number one. They'd say, how dare you? Something, I don't know. Sacre bleu, I don't know.
It's pretty side by side. They even do collabs like between wine makers and breweries.
Wow, you guys are truly Canadian French people. The loyalties are here, everyone. You heard it here. The loyalties are right here in Canada. They're drinking beer, and that's beautiful.
We're the real Canadians.
That's the real Canadians right there.
How much time have you spent in Quebec, Amish? I used to live there, so I'm curious. Like, what's your familiarity with the province?
It's always been a fun place to go party. I went to Just for Laughs twice, you know, and that's like a weird time. The whole city is like a big festival for comedy. You're just like, the whole thing. They had walkers for us. They sent someone to my hotel, and they were like, "Hi, I'm here to walk you to your show." They walked.
Wow.
Yeah, I had one walker, but this other girl, she was like bigger. It was like her fourth time, 2 walkers.
Was it because they weren't sure of your ability to make it there
instead
on
of
your own?
drivers, or
You can't drive anywhere because half the streets are shut down. Because in Montreal, they understand what life is, and they'll shut down their city. You know, over here, it takes a coronavirus to shut down a city. Over there, they shut it down every year just for comedy. But they have to come send a walker for you because the streets are blocked. There's no getting around. People don't get to their gigs on time. You need a walker.
No, Amish, I think it just they did it. They weren't sure that you'd show up. I think it was more they wanted a chaperone.
They didn't invent this for me. The other girl has been there like 4th time. They like begged her to go. The other girl.
Who was she?
I forget, but I don't. She didn't even want to go. The
Was
Americans
she just out of rehab or something? Why did they have someone on her like that?
2 walkers they had on her because because these comedians, you can't trust them. Sloppy.
I don't know about that. Mathieu, you seem frozen. Mathieu's frozen on the screen.
That's a great shot of Mathieu, though.
Can you hear us, Mathieu?
Okay, Mathieu. Interesting. I thought my internet connection would be weak up here, but
when Quebec changed from being a majority, heavily religious Catholic society to a secular, modern democratic society in the 60s. It was called the Silent Revolution.
Wow.
And I think that Mathieu is invoking that right now.
Yeah.
By no longer speaking or being visible on the show. I think I'm gonna have to re-invite him.
Yeah, re-invite him. Oh, that's him. He's coming back in.
He has separated from the show.
He is separated. He's
Mathieu, is that a little bit of a separatist movement right there you just
separatism
did?
and active separatism?
Oh my God, I just
a lot of
lost
English. Wow, that beer looks great.
What did I miss? What I miss?
I just said that you leaving was evocative of the Silent Revolution, the Quiet Revolution.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Amish knows. Do you know about the Quiet? You know about the Quiet Revolution, Amish?
I didn't know there was a revolution in the 60s, 70s. I know there was something with Trudeau, Daddy Trudeau, with some terrorist shit, which is hard as fuck.
Yeah. The FLQ.
FLQ. That's all I know about. Is that part of the revolution?
Front de Libération du Québec.
Yeah.
What do you learn in school? Like in Ontario?
Just this English propaganda that some people wanted to leave. No, I don't know about the is it the silent revolution you said, Drew, in the 70s?
The Quiet Revolution. I misspoke.
The Quiet Revolution.
Quiet.
I've never heard. That's
French,
very interesting.
French,
I've never heard of a quiet one. Tell me about it.
In French, it's called La Révolution tranquille.
Oh, tranquille. Oh, wow.
Do you want to explain it to him, Mathieu? I feel like this isn't. You need to know a little bit about Quebec history.
Tell me about it. The culture needs to know.
It's basically when the Quebec people started to move away from the church, the Catholic Church. Catholic Church had a real a hard grip on people. Like like priests would tell women to make just lots of babies, even if they would die giving birth.
It used to be like India, is what he's saying, Amish. Quebec used to be like India, and
This is all very relatable. It's all very relatable. Jesus Christ.
and
Yeah,
then
in
what?
the
And then,
60s, 70s, eh?
and then what was
Because
the
in the
breaking
50s,
point?
it all used to be like that. No?
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know about other places than
Yeah,
Quebec,
maybe
but
not the rest of English Canada. I don't know. I wonder how bad it was. Because even now, we get these like Catholic priests getting busted and they
yeah.
just get moved around, you know? In
But
America,
I don't.
too.
Do you have Catholic like priests, or is it Protestant,
Have
or
you seen Spotlight?
There's Catholics here. There's Catholics for sure.
Yeah,
What do
there's
you mean?
Catholics.
Of
Yeah, and
course.
I mean, if the Spotlight, that movie was about the Catholic Church and just how like every movie. I saw that movie with Danny Polchuk, actually, our last guest, and every
Well, Salma
beat.
Hindi was our last guest. Stop
sorry,
with the
last
erasure. Stop silencing Muslim women,
I
you
did
Hindu
not attack. I
nationalists.
watch it.
Stop
Dude.
with the Hindu nationalism.
This girl had a hijab on, and this guy's aggressively telling her "Happy Passover, Happy Passover." He said it like 19 times to her.
I'm
Chill.
whoa. Hold on. It's called multi-faith. It's called interfaith. This show's called Let's Come to an Understanding because we
Let's come
bring
to
people
understanding.
together.
Yeah.
If I
Well,
can't wish a Muslim woman a happy Passover, then I'm not a Canadian.
he came
I'm
at her
sorry.
pretty hard on it. She said it. She was like, "Thank you" the first 3 times, and you said it 12 more times. So I said, "You know what? Just chill. It's fine."
You're being
But,
hyperbolic. You're being hyperbolic. We're talking
but,
over our guest again, though. You asked me a
Mathieu,
question.
Mhm.
yeah. No, I was just saying, like, I've heard of that in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, they were telling people to have kids. No, because the movie Spotlight is about. It starts in Boston, but it's about the Catholic Church is like, they're just like raping kids and covering it up all the time.
Yeah, it's
Couple
about
lawyers
the
fighting for them.
newspaper or whatever.
Yeah, it was about the newspaper called the
Wait,
Spotlight.
Amish,
Yeah.
we're talking about Quebec and the Quiet Revolution.
Hey,
why,
man.
Why are you reading us the back of the DVD for Spotlight?
Hey,
right
man. You said it was like India, and I'm just saying, hey, you think America's any better? But anyway, continue.
So yeah, Quiet Revolution. Also, it was when like the Francophone started to take hold of their future, I guess, more, and like because back in the days, like only Anglophone could be like foreman on construction sites and shit like that.
What?
Yeah,
And,
all,
like,
In the 70s.
sorry, if I can just
maybe
can I add
earlier
something?
than that.
It used to
go
be
on.
all of the money and like the industry in Quebec was controlled by the Anglophone elites, and
Yeah.
then the Quebecois, the Francophone speaking people tended to be more working class
Yeah.
and had a harder time, had a larger barrier of entry towards holding like a lot of government positions and a lot of industrial or
Look, I'll say it again.
managerial positions.
I'll say it again. The Quebec Catholic Church was way ahead of its time. But anyway, if those were the worst problems at the time, that's way ahead of its time. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
Why do you say that? Wait, what do you mean?
Because of the other places, they were like, when he started saying like, the Catholic Church had a strong hold, and one of the terrible things they were doing is they were telling women to have more kids.
Yeah,
I was like, that's not bad. Like I've heard worse, but okay.
but they were also fucking like kids too.
Yeah.
Oh, they were doing that too. Okay, this is on top of that. This is on top of that. You're saying.
Don't get it.
I mean, you think
twisted.
it's one or the other? You thought it was one or the other?
I thought this sounds like a big operation. Like maybe they were focusing on that. They're spending more time on that. But okay, cool. They're doing everything. Okay, shit. Okay. I was trying to find a positive point on it, but that's I guess not.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
like Amish. You're for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see Amish is wearing a vest with the colors of Quebec on it today. Was that intentional?
You know
There's a
what?
trident and some Japanese type as well, but
This is Japanese type, but for some reason, this felt like something from Montreal to me right now. It felt like Paisley-ish on a weird
How
angle.
so?
you do look like you would be on ketamine at Picnic Electronique dressed in that. I got to be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can have like a French Borat character.
You know about Picnic?
No, I don't know about Picnic. Tell me. Sounds amazing. Sounds so Montreal.
It's just some raves that are happening on Sundays on the island.
Because they stopped going to church in Quebec, so now they do raves
So
on their
now they're
Sundays.
just
After the Quiet Revolution, the province mandated
Yeah.
rave attendance.
raves and condoms for everyone. Let's go.
Raves and condoms, yeah.
Raves and condoms, baby. Yeah, no, Montreal is the place now. They really fought that off, and now it's a party. It is a well-known party city. I lost my virginity in Montreal.
Is that
No
so?
way.
Yes.
How did that happen?
I went with a bunch of older cousins on a and I was like 18 or something or 19.
Because
Okay.
I
you can
just
drink.
barely
You
was.
can drink in Quebec.
Yeah. You can drink and you can party and stuff. And my cousin, he was doing a bachelor party, and for the bachelor party, we just drove to Montreal and partied one night. And basically, two of us, we were younger. They were all like 5 years older than us. We're 5 years younger. What a legendary weekend, dude! Two of us picked up, and we were hollering like we went out on the street like we're gonna have sex with someone, and we hit the streets in Montreal. And Montreal said, yeah.
Where did you meet?
Maybe
these,
the second person I talked to was like, yeah. Okay, it didn't take that much. Like we were just in a really good mood.
Where did you go?
I don't know. It was like I remember I remember
Crescent Street.
it was definitely on Crescent Street. It was definitely that main party street.
There you
But I
go.
don't remember
Without
the
a
bar
doubt in your
again.
mind, it was Crescent Street.
It was 100% Crescent Street, and Saint Laurent was part of it too. Maybe we ate food there or something. And it was that same hotel that like the Just for Laughs building is like behind it. It's like a street over and behind, and then we were in this Marriott on that not Main Street, but like we were.
Wait, Amish, hold on. Did you meet this person at the hotel bar at the Marriott? Because I have to bring something to you.
No hotel bars. But yeah, Montreal, man, great city. Great city. Montreal's always been good like that. Toronto, it's like impossible to have sex with people. And they're losers. They're not doing anything, but they just won't fuck here. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not saying like I don't want to complain, but like I go an hour out of Toronto, and
there is a pandemic right now, so
there's that. Fair enough.
Well,
Let me tell you.
Amish meets most of the people that sleep with him at pizzas and Subways.
yeah,
and,
I've heard.
Mathieu, I have to do it in person only because unfortunately I'm discriminated against with my skin tone on the internet, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only That's the only chance I have. So I have to meet on the street. But
Mathieu, you said that like you could understand why. When you said that, Mathieu went, yeah, no, I see it. Yeah.
No, I'm part of the Francophone minority myself.
He understands.
What do you mean you're part of the Francophone minority yourself?
So
What does that mean?
The minority in Canada.
We're both minorities.
No, but Amish is discriminated against because he's a South Asian man.
Yeah,
Apparently.
I got that.
Okay.
He understands discrimination, okay, Drew? He understands what it's like to be discriminated against, to be told that your language is not,
I got to be honest, I don't really think he does.
He's told that his language is second class, and I'm told my penis is second class. But we both fight, and we both get out in the community, and that's it, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Preach.
Mathieu, how is Quebec reacting to Bernie Sanders dropping out of the Democratic primaries and Joe Biden now being the de facto nominee?
Well, I see lots of my Anglophone friends here like really follow American politics, and they were upset, I guess, but like it was Bernie's cool and all,
but they're over it.
We should maybe focus more on politics over here, I think.
Okay, so you're not.
Drew, in Montreal, they have their own scene. They're not just watching American shit like us, okay? They have their own movies, they have their own TV, and they have their own politicians.
Yeah, we followed it.
Yeah.
Lots of my friends, I have friends who campaign for Bernie, like from
wow.
Montreal, yeah.
How depressing, man.
Alexi?
It's really sad that he lost.
No, Jody and her friends. Bernie's
she's Anglophone. She's Anglophone.
Bernie's the best. Like,
Bernie's incredible, man. They fucked it. They fucked up.
Yeah.
They really and Biden's gonna lose, and he already got okay. So how long has he been calling him? How long has Trump been calling him Sleepy Joe?
Oh my god! But it was to be expected. Like the U.S. all they do is fuck up in politics.
Yeah, well, we've made. I think I'm saying we because I agree with you. I'm a Bernie supporter fully, and I think I say we because I think a lot of progress has been made. He didn't win, but this is the last chance they have now. And the last chance meaning like I think the next election they can finally vote in someone who is going to make a change. Like they're finally getting
Well,
rid of.
But if Biden wins, he's going to be the incumbent, and he'll most likely run again. So
but it's wild. There's always a new low, because I remember when George W. Bush got elected, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's president.
Yeah.
But
right.
then Donald Trump became president, and it was like another low. And, then,
And you're like,
yeah.
remember
I
that
want to
George W. Bush?
clarify.
George W. Bush was great. Remember him?
I want to clarify for our listeners. Mathieu Dionne is not a Trump supporter. I know at the up top you might have gotten those vibes, but he's actually not a Trump supporter.
Not at all.
it's wild though. There was a thing on Radio Canada, French CBC. They had a little thing, an article on some Franco-American that he had descendants in Quebec, and he's a total Republican. He has a library, a francophone library in like Massachusetts, or Connecticut, and he's like a massive Trump supporter and Republican, and he's like talking in French with a big Quebec accent how Trump is great. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, you guys, I'm sure have conservatives. I mean, we have Doug Ford over here. We have Dougie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you know who the premier? You know what they call the premier in Quebec? Actually, Amish.
Tell me.
Le premier ministre.
That's hot.
They call their premier the prime minister.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sexy. For
Well,
a second, I thought you were saying that's what they call the prime minister.
But
No, that's also what they call the prime minister.
They call their own guy. That's like a fuck you to can't. That's like a bit of a hey fuck you.
It's a bit of a fuck you to the rest of the nation.
That's in French. Like Franco-Ontarians say that Doug Ford is the premier ministre for sure. Premier ministre de l'Ontario.
What do you call Trudeau? What's his title?
Premier ministre du Canada.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I don't love it. I gotta be honest.
Man,
I don't love
the language has to. We need a different language to say fuck off to Canada. To say fuck off to English.
What's your system? What is Doug Ford?
The premier.
Premier. Yeah, it's definitely like in English. It's definitely like there's one prime minister and then we have premier. Whereas over there, they're saying you have your prime minister, we have our prime minister. Fuck you. Maybe it's like that. But it's
François Legault is the premier ministre.
Premier ministre. Yeah.
And he is also to the right politically. He's an economic.
Whoa, hold up. Whoa. He's not like super right though. He has a.
Well, what about the
like because he used to be in Parti Québécois.
Okay.
So like Parti Québécois are like they're almost socialist.
Yeah, but economically, but he's from the CAQ, right?
Yeah, but he started this party.
And that's the CAQ stands for what? It's Coalition pour l'avenir du Québec.
Yeah.
So that's the coalition for the future of Quebec.
He's a businessman, but I think CAQ is not as right as the liberals.
Well, Quebec is interesting. The politics gets tricky there because I feel like there's on the liberal side, like who's banning hijabs in the French speaking?
That's the CAQ. That would be the CAQ.
Yeah, and that is the conservatives, or is that the liberals though? Is it the anti-religion people doing it, or is it because that's where it gets different.
They do it under the guise of secularism and say that Quebec is a secular state, so you can't have religious.
Yeah.
But there's an implicit discrimination built within that.
But which party actually does it? Like whenever those issues come up, is it the left-wing party or the right-wing party that's
the party that's elected, the party that's in power right now?
So the parties that have proposed it in the past have been the Parti Québécois, which was when I was in university, Pauline Marois was the Premier Ministre, and she was the leader. They proposed it then, but it got shot down.
And is that left-wing or right-wing though? Like, what would you consider?
So Quebec, the left would be like that, but you have to look at economically. They're to the left. They believe in like a strong social safety net.
Yeah.
Right. And they also did the hijab ban.
Yeah, but culturally, they would have some more kind of like conservative policies.
Technically, it's a ban on hijab on public jobs, like public service jobs. Or whatever.
I remember that. Yeah. And that's a left-wing party that enacted that. That's interesting. The politics gets different in different places, I guess.
It's different.
That's one of those tricky ones. Like over here, a lefty would never do an anti like hijab thing in America or Canada, but
I
in
think
Europe,
it's to please like old voters, like old heads that like are afraid of like other cultures.
that does seem like a waste of time.
There is another. So the furthest left Quebec party on the provincial level would be Quebec Solidaire,
Quebec Solidaire, yeah, they're great.
and they wouldn't be down with.
They're not down with any kind of anti-hijab, yeah.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't enforce any of those policies like that.
Interesting.
But they're also separatists. Here's the thing: Coalition pour l'avenir du Québec also somewhat has some separatist underpinnings to it, does it not?
Hey, look, I know I sound like a pro-British, pro-English guy myself, but I do think that there is some need to just fight against whoever's the dominant power, you know? Like, are they really trying to separate, or is it just is it just to be like, hey, keep your game tight, because we'll leave?
I don't think CAQ is trying to separate right now.
No, not right now. But in the past, they dangle it. It's always very popular to kind of dangle the idea that we'll leave Canada.
It's to appease to a certain branch of voters, I guess.
And you get money like that. You get money. If you say you're going to leave, federal government, they'll write in some law. They'll be like, okay, fine, we'll write in a couple of laws, guarantee a certain amount of jobs, whatever.
Amish has a conspiracy theory that Quebec only says they'll leave so that the government gives them money. Kind of like when my grandparents tried to get divorced and my grandma got a new deal out of it. You know what I mean?
That's how deal.
She got a real FDR situation going on.
That's the Pickwick family's New Deal. Okay.
Not the Pickwicks, the other side.
Oh, right. Man, I just saw. It is interesting. Like with Bernie dropping out, though. Now I'm seeing Cuomo. You guys know, like, is it what's his name again? Chris Cuomo, and his brother is
the brothers,
and he just called up his brother, who's like, what is he, like a senator? Or no, he's a governor, right?
He's the governor of New York State. Yeah,
he's the governor of New York State. So Chris Cuomo calls his brother, and he's like, why are you running for president? You should run for president. He gave him shit on the air. It was such a tense. Did you see it? And you guys see that? They just posted it 3 hours ago.
I didn't see that part, but I saw when they talked about like they joke about their mom and.
Yeah, like they were kind of being mean to each other on it. It was like very older brother like bullying the younger brother, and the younger brother being like, "Hey, why don't you run for president, you jerk? Because right now we need."
It's wild.
Yeah,
it's in the middle of a crisis. Like.
Yeah,
it's quality television, and that's what people need in a crisis. Yeah. Quality television.
It is, man. Chris came at his brother and like really set him up on these like weird. It's like good writing because at one point. He was talking about the hashtag I'm staying home for, and he goes to his older brother. He's like, who are you staying home for? Huh? Who are you staying home for? I'm staying home for this person. And they put up a picture. He's like, that's my mom. I'm staying home for my mom. And then his brother's like, she was my mom first. And you know what? I'm picking her too. I'm staying home for my mom. And they like got into a battle. And then he put up a picture of them to his kids and be like, you know what? You can have mom. You can have mom because you know who I'm going to do this for? I'm staying hashtag stay home for. And he puts up a picture of him and his older brother, but when he's a kid. And his brother's like, I'm leaving. He takes off the mic. It's so dramatic. It's so.
I think they were doing a bit. But
I think they were doing a bit. It's like it's one of those bits that you don't know. Like it got so tense at points. Like it was.
I think if it's on CNN, they're not actually. He was not.
So you think this is a whole? So you're saying that Andrew Cuomo is going to run? You think this is a whole tease to run?
No,
it's
too late. He can't run now. What do you mean run?
Hey, 3 hours ago, his brother's calling him saying, "Are you going to run? Are you going to? Did you know Bernie Sanders dropped out? Are you changing your mind?"
To write articles though and sell story.
You think he'd be better than Biden?
Fuck yeah, Andrew Cuomo. Anyone's better than Biden.
I think he has more cognitive ability. I don't think he'd be necessarily. I don't know.
Biden's 5 years older than Bill Clinton, and Bill there's a reason why this guy didn't become president yet. He's been in the game, dude. He's always been an idiot, and now he's losing his marbles. So it's like, what is this guy? I was telling Drew, like, there's a movie called, is it March of Ides or The Ides of March? It's like this political movie.
The Ides of March, yeah.
It's The Ides of March, and it's about a Democratic guy becoming president. And one of the ways he becomes president is that he has to take help from this, like, just a dumb hick character. And the second the guy popped on screen, the guy that I was watching the movie with is like, hey, I read this thing that like that's supposed to be Joe Biden. Like you know how like in political stuff, it's like everyone represents a real person.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like Joe Biden's always been a silly dum-dum. He's always the kind of guy, but he has good political instincts. But I remember years ago seeing a clip of him being like, it's like he's doing like a speech. This is like 15, 20 years ago. He's doing a speech and he's like, guys, give it up for Martha. Martha, go ahead, stand up and take a bow for everyone. Oh shit, Martha's in a wheelchair. Okay, everyone else stand up then. Like he's like, he doesn't know. He's always saying something silly like that.
He had a gaffe.
Yeah, he had a gaffe. One time he was like, I love immigrants. Immigrants work so hard. This guy Sanjay works at the 7-Eleven. Hardest working guy. He'll do a 48-hour shift. Sanjay doesn't give a shit. Where's Sanjay? Get him over here. Like he's just so silly.
Oh my god.
He's so funny.
You see, they'd never say that in Quebec. They'd say this guy Sanjay is destroying our culture. He needs to go.
Oh my god, that's not true. We're very very welcoming. We're welcoming people in Quebec.
It's true. They welcomed me, a fellow Canadian citizen, begrudgingly for 5 years when I lived there.
No,
I
Montreal
was
is very-
begrudgingly accepted. By the way, for real diehard fans of the show, you may not know this, but Mathieu Dionne is the guy behind the artwork of our show.
Yes, beautiful work.
That's right.
And he's a renowned illustrator in the province of Quebec and internationally. I will also say. Additionally,
don't know about that.
we've been interviewing a lot of like entrepreneurs and small business owners. How has your business been dealing with the effects of COVID-19?
Well, it's a lot quieter now.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had a couple projects that didn't go through, so I'm glad for the Trudeau help money.
The Trudeau help money. Is that what it's called in Quebec? In Ontario, it's called Canadian Emergency Relief Benefits, CERB.
Yeah, it's the
CRB, yeah.
But in Quebec, the official name is the Trudeau help money? Okay. Is it called l'argent pour l'aide de le
what
Premier
is it?
ministre Trudeau?
It's mesure d'urgence canadienne or something. I don't know. I just filled it out and.
The MUC. Did you get it yet? I've heard about people already getting those checks cleared.
Well, I'm born in July, so I applied yesterday.
Okay. Amish, are you applying?
Yeah, my family handles that. We got an accountant, and they're just doing. Yeah, I know. I was going to yesterday. I didn't know, but then because they just own a family business, and the accountant does all that stuff, so I can't.
What? So your taxes are done by an accountant, and you don't know if you're eligible?
No. I just didn't do it myself. But then my brother-in-law told me this morning. He's like, "Hey, we applied for your CERB."
Sick.
Oh, okay. So you're getting it. Okay.
Let's see when it comes through. I'll tell you when it comes through. But also, I've been working, just like all the writing.
Don't
stuff
say that.
happening.
You can't say that. You're disqualifying yourself for the CERB.
Oh no, I haven't been working. It's like when I say working, I mean I'm working on just This is work. This is work.
Well, if you're freelance and your regular income's been disrupted, I believe you're eligible to apply for CERB.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is work in the sense that if anyone listening to this podcast goes to budmail.com, uses my promo code AmishFlower, you can get a discount on weed. It'll be delivered to your house. At a time like this, you don't want to be going out for weed. Guys, go to budmail.com and they will deliver to your house. Yeah, they're still delivering right now.
Do they operate in Quebec?
Do they ship in Quebec?
Of course. All over Canada.
Sick.
I think the US too, maybe. Budmail.com. AmishFlower is the code.
Sick.
Yeah, we got a 7-minute remaining time on this meeting. So just a heads up, Mathieu, we might have to switch over to Drew's. Drew, do you want to switch over right now, or do you want to come back in a minute? Or do you want to wait?
Let's come back in a minute, because I feel like we're on a roll.
Okay, go.
So Mathieu also told me that I don't know if we can talk about this on air. The Red Cross is apparently making a lot of investments in Quebec. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Mathieu?
Okay.
They I don't know. They set up a fund for helping workers in Quebec.
Oh yeah,
it's been really helpful.
Yeah, you get some you got some cash from that. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to disclose all the financials here. We don't have to get into it.
No, I'm feeling very grateful for
That's
Red
amazing.
Cross. And...
Oh, I would hope you're feeling grateful.
You think they'd hook us
I
up over here?
wouldn't want you to be ungrateful about that.
That's why we got to marry over into Montreal side because they get extras. They probably get extra stuff.
You know, the Red Cross are normally known for helping people with, like, you know, living in refugee camps or no access to clean drinking water. Maybe,
Hey, man,
maybe you're in the middle of
COVID-19.
war, you know, but they're also there for underworked Quebec graphic designers. And I like that they're versatile and that they're branching out.
But
I like that they're branching out.
Did you see I'm raising funds for nurses in Quebec?
I did see that. Do you want to plug? Mathieu has a shirt that he has for sale right now. Do you want to plug the shirt?
Yeah, it's on sale at pumpui.ca, pumpui.ca.
Wow.
And what is the shirt?
I'm gonna look at it right now. I'll try to pull it up.
It's a fat lazy bastard on his lazy boy, and he says, "I'm helping." It's
pumpui.com. Tell me the website again.
pumpui.ca. It's a restaurant.
Beautiful.
Montreal.
Your local curry shop online. Boutique Pumpui.
Yeah,
we survived COVID. Yo, let me put this on the screen actually.
Throw it up on the screen, please.
Let's put it on the screen, guys. Screen share. Let's go.
Mathieu, how have you been liking Premier Ministre François Legault's response to COVID-19?
Uh-oh.
He's good actually.
Oops. Wait.
He's I think he's really handling it well. He does like TV appearances every day at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And he's like giving updates, and he's there with the head doctor in Quebec, and he started this before the Trudeau did it, and Trudeau wanted to do it at 1 p.m. but François Legault was like, that's my spot.
Really? So the Premier Ministre, see, this is why I don't like the title Premier Ministre, because he's pulls some funny shit like that. It goes to your head.
See how he's getting cocky? It goes to his head. He's getting cocky now.
He's like, actually, 1 p.m. is the time slot for le Premier Ministre du Québec, on fait.
He was doing it before Trudeau was even doing shit. So.
And now, are you also eligible for the money from the Quebec government, or is that taken away from you if you're getting CERB or what are you calling it in French again? C'est quoi le nom?
The Trudeau help money.
The Trudeau help money, yes.
Trudeau help money.
Does that disqualify you for the Quebec stipend? Because Quebec was out front. This is why I like Quebec. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think they have it.
I don't think they talk to each other. It's like one company's going to give you money, and then another.
That was the Red Cross money.
No. But the province of Quebec had, before the federal government put out a plan. The Quebec government put out, I believe, $500 in emergency release to Quebec residents.
Yeah, that was the Quebec money, but it was the Red Cross that was like handling it, but it wasn't like Red Cross money.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it was coming from the government, but the Red Cross was the broker.
It was just through Red Cross. But
Red Cross was being the Western Union for that transaction.
I guess so, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool, man. And you're getting that T-shirt money. So you know what?
No, I'm not getting
the T-shirt money.
Oh, you're not getting that T-shirt money?
That's going to support nurses on the front
all
lines.
That's for the nurses.
The nurses in Quebec.
And why not the doctors? And why not the doctors?
And why? Well, the doctors are getting
doctors. They're getting paid too much
doctors are getting paid too much. Yeah. No, I think we're going to come out of this whole tragedy, and we are going to learn how valuable these workers are. There's a lot of caring jobs that we don't really respect.
My mom's a nurse, and I'm close to the nurses. I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're doing incredible work, and I don't see why the doctors got to even get paid more. It's bullshit. Yeah. What the fuck do doctors do?
Doctors should be paid like a little more than nurses, but not that much.
A little more. Yeah, Surgeons should be getting paid what doctors get paid. The rest, guys. Split out with the nurses, goddammit.
I just hold that thought because we're going to come right back. Just hold that thought. One sec.
Yep. Is that a New Balance hat?
It's the New Balance Emilion d'Or.
Oh, wow.
Limited edition.
Where'd you get it? Online?
Online. I'm an online kind of guy. What can I say?
Wow.
I'm very online.
I didn't I didn't know you had this kind of money. I love the. Did you buy other stuff from that collection?
I got a sweater. That's it. It's very expensive. I wanted to get a
Mathieu,
track.
he does not have this kind of money, but it's fine. It's
No,
fine.
I
What
don't. I have
sweater?
credit. I have credit. I actually don't have a lot of money. I have, a lot
He
of,
does
I have,
not
I
have-
have 3 credit cards though.
We were talking last time. He wastes money on the most expensive gym in Toronto. It's
What-
insane. I don't know how he does it. It's
Yeah,
fine. It's
I've
fine.
heard it on the pod.
I didn't even know that was a special hat, Drew. Jesus, at least like that's like that hat is such a flex, eh? Because only like a tiny percentage of Montreal people who are into high-end shit know about it, and you paid like probably $50 for that hat.
More
People in
than
Montreal,
50.
people in Montreal, people in New
You're in
York.
quarantine. Just put on a hat. Nobody knows what hat you're wearing.
Listen. We don't have to talk about whether I'm flexing, whether I'm styling on your ass. We don't have to talk about that, okay? What we do
Flexing.
have to
Hey,
talk
I got
about-
a Baby Huey original. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, we noticed. Listen, we don't have to talk about listen, it is, sure. Is it a flex? Sure, it's a slight flex. It's a slight flex.
It's a slight flex.
It's a low-key flex.
It's kind of like, after I went to Just for Laughs, in the gift bag, they had this hat from Pierce Law Group. And it
Yeah.
said, "We stand up for comedians."
Wow.
It's like this,
It's the comedy lawyers. Did you know that comedians have their own law firm they can go to if they're ever in a pinch?
That's everyone at Just for Laughs. You go to Just for Laughs, every girl you meet is like, "Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I'm an entertainment lawyer from LA," or an agent.
So were they Louis C.K.'s lawyers?
Um.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because
Glad
we
you
all
brought
just
that up.
watched Louis C.K.'s new special.
Yeah.
Guys, what did we think of it?
I had some laughs for real.
Yeah.
You had a couple. This is
Yeah.
the thing. I'm gonna say this too. I had a couple, and I'm gonna stress couple because I think he had the same issue that I had with Dave Chappelle. A lot of these like older comics now, the guys who've been the vanguard for the past like 10 years or so,
Mhm.
I'm a little like, is this it? I'm a little bored. I got to be honest with you.
It is like, well, even with Bill Burr said this in his last special, I think he's been doing the same bit, like the same like point of the bit for like 4 years in a row. Like Bill Burr every year does like a stop getting married bit or something like that, or like if you want to save the environment, stop fucking. Or like Doug Stanhope has like 5 of those. Each one is 10 minutes. Each one is good, but it does sound like a little bit of the same. I do like that there was some growth in Louis C.K. He admitted the mistake. He said, "Hey, if you're gonna masturbate in front of someone, just check." I thought that was very important what he said. I thought he said some good things
he
there.
kind of had to do that though. I don't think that was negotiable. But
You think
he
so?
had to do
Because
that.
Chappelle does this thing where he owns his whatever. Chappelle's specials were like, "Fuck you. I said what I said, and I don't give a fuck. Whatever." Whereas
You
Louis
talking
C.K.
about the trans thing?
Yeah, I think with Dave Chappelle. No, Dave Chappelle did do this attempt to be like, "Hey, we're in this together." Like he did say some positive things about trans people in his special. I thought Dave Chappelle, but with Louis C.K., like, yeah, it was like a full like. I did
but
something
those are
wrong.
two completely different circumstances. Also, I don't think Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle wasn't like ostracized and like
canceled or anything. Yeah, no, he doesn't.
It's a different scenario.
It's a different situation. It is not technically harassment what he did. Like what Louis C.K. did is like he did pull his dick out in front of people.
I heard. Yes,
Like,
I did. I have heard about
thing.
this.
Yeah.
No, but but I think the main thing though was like he opens with like a "I don't believe in God" material, and like he's having jokes about how stupid dogs are. He's
I
doing a
love
joke
the
about
dog
like
jokes.
yeah, but I mean, just for me, like the premises of all this stuff, I'm like, this is like entry level premise kind of stuff, my guy.
Oh no! Here's the thing with Louis C.K. and the same thing happened with Russell Peters. They did it first, and then it's so groundbreaking. And then like 6 years later, you're like, oh, you just do the same premises every 2 years. So it does feel
It's a little
like,
old hat,
and a little bit of.
He doesn't
like,
have to reinvent himself every time. Like,
no, but I mean, I'd like
it's his
to see a
style.
bit more probing. You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen him capable of like really like some of his older stuff really like took a subject that you didn't think about that often, or it was kind of in the back of your mind. It was like a subconscious kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like he really like got personal with it, and he like reflected on it and like offered a level of insight that maybe wasn't there before culturally. This I
It's not
didn't
his
find
best.
that as much. This
It's
one
not
I
his
found.
best. This one.
Yeah, it was a lot more of just like, you know what I do. Here it is. I'm just proving I can make a comeback. It
I
didn't.
like his physical stuff too. Like
Yeah, his physical stuff. Like he basically has a style, and he
he's
does
funny,
that.
man.
It's kind of like you know how with musicians, like let's say with Radiohead, right? They did like 2 albums that were like rock, and then they did like 2 albums that were like trippy more, and then they're doing albums that are like weird. I think with Louis C.K., he's like he did like old rock albums. He's doing
Yeah.
it was a classic bits. He did filthy. Was back to his basic like dirty stuff. But he did
Hey,
like now we're calling that old hat. But every other the thing with him and Russell Peters. Sorry, Mathieu. But the thing with him and Russell Peters is that they started this style. Everyone rips them off. So now it is kind of like unoriginal, but it's still.
I think he went safe for his comeback. And that's
Yeah,
it.
but for me, it was
Yeah.
too safe. It was. I feel like for your comeback, you gotta really, especially if you're self-producing it. Like he recorded it himself, paid for it himself, put it on his website. Like for me, I would rather see you go just like full on, like taking a risk, taking a chance with it. Like oh shit, like I never thought that way about that. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're really
The
you're
last
like,
HBO
putting
special
honest-
had some insights, I thought more. Like I see what you're saying about the insights. Like the HBO special, there were moments where I was like, fuck, this is some good existential shit. Like meaning of life kind of stuff. This one he got close to it and then he kind of went to another bit.
But
He didn't really go too existential.
also he says that he just got a new girlfriend, and that changes a lot of his mindset. So like he probably wrote his stuff when he was happy. So
Right, but I'd
There
also
you go.
say he said he had a new girlfriend, but then at the same time, he like lies. He like just glosses over that, right? Like he
Yeah.
mentions it as kind of a setup, and then you don't hear about her again. He just kind of like boop and then boop and moves on. And I found like
Yeah.
a lot of the jokes were like focused more so upon like, you know, very stock premises in the terms of comedy, very stock kind of like, okay, I'm going to talk about God's not real. I'm going to talk about, you know,
well,
animals.
he's been away for a while, so it was just like
Yeah. And
I'm
again, Drew,
back,
you're saying
but-
it's old stock, but he brought a lot of that in.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to just see. Listen, I'm talking as someone who just like wants to see comedy like take chances. I feel like there's a tendency, especially amongst comics. I know you don't count yourself as a comedian, Mathieu, but you're a fan of the art form. You're an avid watcher.
I'm one of the most funniest people I know.
So anyway, I was
Hold it down.
Mathieu doesn't know a lot of people. What I do want to say is I like to see. I find there's a tendency now for like comedians to like just canonize people, and we're not being critical of the art form enough
Yeah.
anymore. And I find that was with Chappelle. I'm finding that to be the same thing with Louis. I'm finding that's the same thing with Burr. Like there's a lot of guys who are like really punching like, you know, like in like the top weight class or whatever, but they're kind of like in their twilight years, and no one's saying the emperor's not wearing any clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not ripping and dipping like the new guy. There's a Tim Dillon. It's almost innovative. Tim Dillon.
He's probably not as hungry as before when he was younger. So
Yeah.
there we
Well,
go.
that
miss
goes
the
again to the
hunger.
French girlfriend. The French girlfriend's fucking him too good.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. He's like, you know what, Drew? I'm gonna put this on my website, and 5 million people are gonna give me
Yeah.
money, and it's gonna get me through the COVID, and that's it. I don't think it's even a comeback.
It
I think it's
pretty good. It was
You
pretty
think you think
decent.
5 million people paid the $8?
no, maybe a couple of hundred. Even if a couple of 100,000 did, though, it's enough. It's like $800,000. It's like, what else does he got to do? It's
That'd be
like, you
good
gotta put
money.
out-
Yeah, I think a couple
would be.
million. He's probably getting a couple million easy.
Yeah, it's a big audience, and like think about before he would have had to split that with like a network and like 10 different, you know.
He must have so many diehard fans. Like
Yeah, well,
millions.
he's self-released a lot of things. He's put a lot of stuff out on his own.
Yeah, and when you go when you get canceled the way he did, you get a whole new crop of fans. It really backfires, that shit. It's like even when
you get weird new fans.
Yeah. What's his name? When he was here, Shane Gillis, was it?
Do you know
That was
Shane
it.
Gillis, Mathieu?
I don't think I do.
I mean, you should explain it to him.
Shane Gillis got canceled he was on a podcast. He got hired at Saturday Night Live, and then I think the year before that he did like offensive stuff he did a Chinese accent on his own podcast the year before. So someone put that out, got him fired.
I think I've heard.
Canceled from everything. And he was saying that's a tough one too. I don't even know how offended I should be about that, because I don't know. I mean, when I ask my Asian friends, they're like 50-50. Like half of them are like, "Fuck that guy, is bullshit. You don't defend him," and then half of them are like, "I don't think it was that bad." But he got canceled, and then he was doing a special in Toronto or whatever. Like he was headlining in Toronto. And we went there to find Tim Dillon, but we ended up watching his set. And he was saying, even in his set, like, I think I attracted the wrong crowd. Like, the crowd was laughing at the wrong shit.
Sick.
And he's like, I guess I fucked it. I guess I attracted the wrong.
No, he attracted like incels. Like
he's like,
he acknowledged that like
now
my audience is like incels who like.
That's pretty sick that he acknowledges.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like that though, that he's
funny.
acknowledging it though. Like there was a lot of truth to it. Like Louis, the main thing to watch Louis about was everything that went down, right? And he kind of waits until the very end of his special to touch on it, and then when he does touch on it, it's brief. It's like he does maybe like 3 minutes on it.
I mean, I can see that. It's pretty. I would be ashamed of myself.
For sure. I get it.
I wouldn't want to talk about it for like an hour.
I agree. But what my whole thing is like, wouldn't that be more interesting if he did talk about it for an hour? Wouldn't that be something to really like?
Mathieu, I don't think if you were the masturbating type, I don't think you'd be as embarrassed. I think you'd drop 5-10 minutes on that if you were the masturbating in front of people type. Now, I don't think you are. Personally, I like to put my D in a V. And that's just call me basic. Call me basic. But I remember even when I heard about foot fetishes, I was like, am I a loser? I just want to put my D inside a V. I have no interest for like, dude, how many times does a porn start? And the first 10 minutes is just jerking a guy off with her feet? I don't need it. Let's go. And then the masturbating is so weird. Can you imagine if that's how you got off? You're just meeting
Mathieu. You know very little about him. You could be insulting him right now.
I could be insulting him.
Athlete's foot.
Real concerns.
Is that a big phobia of yours, athlete's foot?
On my dick, yeah.
Yeah, athlete's foot on my dick, dude. That is a foot fetishist dream where they're just like, hey, man, I got 3 strains of athlete's foot on this dick. I don't care.
I guess that's the only way you can contract the STD if you're into feet, hey?
Mm-hmm.
The only one you get is, people go, what is that? Oh my God, you have herpes? They go, no, athlete's foot.
Yeah.
Then you put Dr. Scholl on there.
Yeah, on your dick, you got to.
Although you can get warts on your feet. This is a thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it is weird that I did always find it strange with him. And it is like this weird compulsion that I guess he has, and I'm not saying that it's okay. You know, you're not allowed to masturbate in front of people. I don't know. What do you guys think on that? Like he asked, but he works with them, and so it's not no dice on that. Obviously,
but one thing that annoyed me a little was like a girl said he started doing it on the phone, but I was like, just hang up, like.
Well, okay, we're getting a little bit dicey,
and also
territory here. I mean, look, you shouldn't really call someone like jerking off on the other end.
No,
but also,
that doesn't mean he's in the right.
Did he say that he was jerking off on that one though?
It's a super weird thing to do. I wouldn't ever do it, but like.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I want to be honest with both of you. Sometimes when you call me, I'm on the toilet.
You're taking a shit, right?
And I don't stop, and I continue the conversation.
I know, but
I just want you to know, I'm not doing that any sexual way. It just
no, Drew, and I've suspected it, but I'm still not in a position to accuse you and say that it hurt me. You know, if it got weird enough, I think a couple of times I thought you were shitting, and I said, Drew, I gotta go, and I just hung up, and that's it. And I think that's the point Mathieu's making, is that like, For that phone one, I was like, that's weird.
It's not cool. Like
It's not cool.
A
I'm not
cool
saying
thing
it's okay.
to do, but
No.
So shit, will I speak to you guys? Well, I gotta be honest though, Amish, that one time that you did hang up, I was lifting weights. And I know why you think it might have been that I was on the toilet, but I was actually working on my biceps.
He's like, he's like,
yeah, I was doing curls. I was doing curls.
Okay, fair enough. Well, this is interesting, Mathieu. This is the last time I tried to bring this up, but like Drew tried to just throw me under the bus on this story too. But have you heard this recent case of apparently Johnny Depp's ex-wife has just been beating the shit out of him for the last 10 years?
Yeah,
have you seen this? What the fuck?
That.
That's so fucked, eh?
Yeah.
Dude, she's hot though, eh? Would you take a hit for that pussy? I think I'd take it.
I hate Johnny Depp's face.
Okay.
I hate his fucking face.
Matthew's with her. Matthew's with her.
I can't blame her, honestly.
Dude, and she hit one time. So okay, but Mathieu, tell me if she crossed the line here. So when they were having a bit of a breakup, she broke up with Johnny Depp, hooked up with Elon Musk for a while, and Elon Musk even was out with a black eye, and he said that he got kind of like assaulted by her.
She dated Elon Musk? This I didn't know.
Yes, he dated Elon
Musk.
Heard
dated Elon Musk?
She fucked his shit up too. Mathieu, do you think
Elon
would you smack Elon Musk in the face too?
Amber Heard. She's an actress.
She's an actress. She's Johnny Depp's ex-wife, and this is one of the few cases. There's a lot of women are on MSNBC saying like, "Hey, are we going to talk about this?" Basically, Johnny Depp got canceled because of her, because she said like he was doing it to her, and
it was
now
the other way around.
The tapes have all come out, and it's like she's in the tapes just being like, why don't you just be a fucking man and take it when I hit you, you little bitch? She's telling Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp's like, well, if you hit me, I have to walk away. I'm sorry.
Yes, sounds like this girl is problematic.
Yeah, I know, but Mathieu.
Yeah, no, it's no good. But no,
the
reason why I didn't want to bring it up in the past, though, is because I feel like this story, I don't want to be like the guys who are like, you see, look, it's really these women.
Yeah, we don't want to get that incel crowd.
Like we already have the gamer headsets.
We already have gamer headsets on. We don't want to attract this.
No.
Hey, that's why I'm bringing it up. But I'm saying I'm with her. Okay, she's so hot, dude. You'd take a punch in the face. Fuck that. Have you seen this girl? She's gorgeous. She's like she's like a biggest Hollywood star.
I don't know if I'm into that though.
Listen, I like that we're getting a moral out of the whole thing. Okay, Amish, I like that you're able to moralize it.
We don't want any incels listening to this. Okay, don't be confused by them. Interesting. Cool.
So, Mathieu, any plans for COVID? Any plans for the quarantine? What do you got lined up?
I'm just I try to run like every other day or something.
How long are you running for?
Like 5-6 kilometers.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna say minutes, and I was gonna be like, that's kilometers. Yeah, no, 5 kilometers. That's enough.
It's the only thing to do. Otherwise, I would play basketball, but I can't. So
nice. I got into this calisthenics workout. I don't think I'm going to get a gym membership when this is all over, because I found this calisthenics workout, and I'm basically doing just one day I just do 3 sets of pull-ups, 10 each, 3 sets of push-ups, as much as I can do. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I went on a rabbit hole of calisthenics YouTube channels, and they're just like, there's one channel called Minus the Gym.
Yeah.
No need for gym.
Everybody's doing home gyms now.
Home gym. Dude, the gym business is going to be busted after this.
I was skipping. Regular listeners of the show will know I've been skipping. However, I've been getting shin splints, so I'm taking a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've just been doing Just Dance for the cardio. I've been doing a lot of yoga. So yoga, I'm doing a split between like a calisthenics day, then yoga abs, and then whenever I can get a Just Dance in, I do a Just Dance. I don't know if you play Just Dance, Mathieu.
Just Dance, I think maybe once. I like that shit though. I used to like DDR.
Yeah, it's like DDR, but just with the controller. A lot of fun, dude.
Shit. Yeah.
Breaking a sweat. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a good workout. And also, last Friday, and I think we're going to do it again. Drew, I really think that the Understanding podcast, we should throw a party on Zoom, because last week I did a party, like a dance party with all of the house guests. And one of our fan in Florida, she came in, she did a dance too in the party. Sick. She wrote like a sex story about me last week. We read it last time.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that episode. That was in our Danny Polachuk episode.
2 episodes ago, she wrote a little sex story about me, and then she came into the
sick.
dance.
I'm behind on the episode. I think last one I listened to was with Creeps.
Oh, with Cynthia Orr.
Oh,
the
Cynthia.
owner of Creeps. Yes, that was a good episode. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Mathieu, we're about to wrap up here, but is there anything you'd like to plug? Anything you'd like to shout out?
Just stay safe, stay home, peep my Instagram.
Yeah. What's your handle?
What's my handle? Is it Dionne, probably?
Sorry, you glitched a little bit on that. You want to say that again?
I'm not sure, but I think it's at Mathieu Dionne.
How do we spell that for our Anglophone listeners?
MathieuDionne.
Okay, that's at Mathieu Dionne. Amish, any other plugs? Any other shout outs?
No, just I'm at Peter Brown.
I've been watching the NBA. They put the old games on NBA on YouTube Live every day at 8. It's great.
Oh, and they just put old games on.
Yeah, like legendary games.
Wow. I thought sports was done.
Putting up 65 points, and that's pretty sick.
That's exciting. Okay, well that's something to do during COVID.
So
Fun.
that's what I'm doing. And, running and drawing a bit and listening to music.
Beautiful. Staying positive during the COVID. Yeah.
Trying to.
I spoke to a friend yesterday who started dating a girl in Oakland, California over Tinder. Because now you can't see someone in your own city. You might as well date someone miles away in another country.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So he sprung for the international Tinder there. You're saying
he does the one where you can like localize yourself in another city.
Yeah, you got to pay extra for that Tinder. Yeah, you got to pay extra for that.
Do you have to pay extra?
You got to pay extra. Yeah, that's the extra features.
You can just geotag somewhere else. Didn't
pay. But no, I think I know that because Jimmer's been paying for Tinder for years, so he told me.
Okay. Way to put him on blast. Okay.
You guys check out Jimmer at Heckled Podcast. Now me and Drew both have episodes on that podcast.
He's been paying for Tinder for years. Not working.
Great guy. Been paying for Tinder for years. What a darling. Cool, man. Thanks.
Amish, you want to shout out your handle?
Oh yeah, I'm at Fade to Brown. Check that out. Yeah, I'm trying to plan. Like we gotta, keep checking it out for more clips from the podcast, for more like tips and stuff for what to do at home. And then also, if you need some weed delivered to your house, go to buttonmail.com. Use my code AmishFlower. They'll deliver it right to your house. You don't want to go to a dealer at a time like this. Use my code, and everyone's gonna be, everyone gets a little cut.
Hey, once again, I do not get a little cut. I'm not associated with that deal whatsoever. This has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but do you have anything else to plug?
Yeah, please follow our podcast. See, I'm always the one who's promoting stuff for the show. But yeah, please follow us at Understanding Pod on Instagram.
Of course.
You can follow me, and through my profile, you can link to at Understanding Pod. I'm at Drew Picklick, DREW_PICK. LYK. That's been our episode. I'm glad that we finally brought the country together and we've had an out-of-province guest on.
Yes, very important.
This is huge.
I love Toronto. I was supposed to go see a Raptors game. But
well, hey, we're still the reigning champs, baby.
Happen.
We're still the reigning champs.
Still the reigning champs.
2 years in a row, baby.
2 years
in a row. You can't take it away.
That's a COVID championship.
This has been Let's Come to an Understanding. Thank you all for listening or watching, and have a great quarantine.
Let's come to an understanding. Let's come to an understanding. Let's come to an understanding.